Welcome everybody. This is the first show I have of artists talking board. This is also my first opportunity of public talking, so be nice. So basically, this is Stop Being Poor. This is a talk where I want to build a mindset for artists to grow their art career, a business mindset. There's this romantic idea that poor artists make great artists. No, well-fed artists make great artists. So why not take a lot of strategies that have been used by business people onto your art career? It might seem like a concept that is contrary to art, but it could be played very well, and it is could generate good results at the long term. I just want to start by saying that nobody gives a fuck about how well you paint. Sorry, nobody is. Nobody gives a fuck about how well you sculpt or photograph. Talent is not make or break on your art career. What is make or break is how much hard work you put into it and how much you dedicate yourself to building your art career. So, if your main concern for not being a successful artist is, I don't paint very well, that's not a very serious concern. So, who the fuck is Stephan Kuyk? That's me. I was born 29 years ago in Switzerland. I moved to New Zealand when I was a kid. Then I lived in Brazil for 15 years and Argentina for 9. And since 2 years I call Berlin home. I am artist, I am a curator, designer, art dealer, and art consultant. Why am I stating that I do so many different things? Because most artists are not only artists. You have a series of skill sets. But the problem is most artists think that they cannot use different sets of skills in the same project. There are no walls between your skill sets. You must mix your skill sets and take advantage of other knowledges you have within your art career. So, what do? I run Azucar magazine and art gallery. That's a project that I started in 2012 in Argentina. It started off because as an artist, I found that I didn't have the exhibition opportunities that I wanted. I was a young artist, and I couldn't get gallery exhibitions because no gallery wanted to show me, and no gallery wanted to show me because I didn't have any art exhibitions. I was in a catch-22, a vicious cycle where I could not break if I wanted to use the traditional path, that is getting a gallery to exhibit your work. What I did, found a group of friends, founded an art magazine, and did my own exhibitions. Every 2 months, we gathered a group of artists, created an online digital magazine, and did an exhibition to launch this new edition of the magazine. In 6 months, we had a portfolio of over 300 artists, which led us to create our gallery. And when I moved to Berlin, I decided to bring this gallery with me. And now we've been exhibiting in Brussels, Madrid, Valencia, and Berlin. A lot more to come next year than this one. I have also run Mr. Tech and Friends, which is a micro design studio where I offer design and communication services for brands and startups. I run Art Supplies for Me. This is a new project where I offer quality and affordable art supplies for artists across the globe. And I have my own art career. As you can see, this relates directly to what I've been talking before. Most of these projects deal with 2 or more of my skill sets. Design and art in Azucar. Azucar got as big as it is today because I didn't need to hire an external designer. I could do the design myself, and that helped me invest the money that I had in other things that would have to be designed if I wasn't a designer. Art Supplies for Me, it combines my knowledge of art with marketing and my art career itself is very design driven. So that's very important. If you're a fashion designer and art, mix those things together. If you're an architect and an artist, mix those things together. If you're a commercial photographer and an artist, mix those things together. Your skill sets are not divided by walls, so there's nothing stopping it from going from one side to the other. So, this talk is divided in 3 parts: online efforts, offline efforts, and innovation efforts. It's very important to know that there are 3, so it's a triangle. You have to feed these 3 aspects of your art career, or else it won't work. I'm not saying that it should be fed the same. Some artists have a much more online-driven career, and obviously their online effort side of triangle will be bigger. And other artists have an offline side that's much more developed than their online. But it's important to maintain balance and have these 3 legs. It's like a tripod. A tripod that only has 2 legs, it's not a very good tripod. So we're going to start with social media. I am not here to convince you that you need social media. Any professional artist should already know this. You need social media, period. It's not a discussion, it's a statement. It is the chance to reach broader audience. Doesn't matter how big your gallery exhibition is, how many people are going to come in a day? 20? 30? 100 if you have a very nice gallery behind you? That's nothing. Online you can get that in minutes. So, this is not why artists should have social media talk. It's basically get that shit done. And as a special guest here, I have one of the artists that I represent, Irene Cruz. She's a photographer and she excels at her social media game. Social media has brought her diverse offline possibilities. While most people think that social media is just online play, she transforms her online social media presence into real exhibitions across the globe. So I would like to invite Irene Cruz to have a quick talk and explain how social media plays a very important influence in her work.
Hello everybody, so thank you for coming here. I'm so curious to know the people that is with me. So thank you Stephan for inviting me. Thank you everybody. And as Stephan already said, so I put so much effort in my social networks. I spend like 2 hours per day or less only on thinking about my publishing on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. I'm not getting crazy. I am programming my stuff with some tools, as I can recommend Cloudflare or HotSuite. So I just sit down on Sunday, I hang over there, I publish the stuff, I do a calendar, because it's not good when someone is just publishing artwork. This is better to publish more things, how people can know what your art is about. Inspiration, making notes, books if you are inspired, and a lot of stuff. No? Or me giving lessons, or what I'm doing in my regular life. As also Stephan said, I'm also a graphic designer, I'm doing fashion, I'm doing weddings, I'm doing a lot of stuff. So my career is 50% my art and 50% survival. And I live for that, so I'm studying my art, but I cannot give everything to sell my art because in August I can sell it. Maybe in November I can buy a photo and I sell a lot and I can live for free per month. But I need to have things to do in case I don't get income. So, for example, I'm going to talk about one thing that happened to me last year. So I'm started to use Instagram, and then association in Paris, you know my artwork, I don't know how. That's that. And they offered me to be the invited artist in an art fair there. They paid all the production of my artwork, they paid me the flights, they paid me the hotel, they That's why I gave them this email when it was Reyes Magos in Spain. That's kind of Father Christmas that we celebrate. And it was like unbelievable, no? Like, okay, I'm doing efforts, I'm sharing my art, but I'm creating these opportunities. I'm not knocking on any gallery door because I prefer they to know my art and the quality that is behind. Things doesn't work like preparing a portfolio and send it. They are looking for artists, and they are looking in masters, they are looking in prices, they are looking in other galleries, and they are still in the artistry or galleries because they know they sell. Galleries, they are not really supporting you because you are what you do is super good. They are supporting you because they can make money with your art and their money because you are increasing the value of your art. By getting prices or exhibition or whatever. So the thing that I want to say with this is that with your social media efforts, you can get all that opportunities. So that's true. And instead of the way I work, I don't look for any jobs, I don't look for any, because it doesn't work. So it's just doing my stuff and it works. It's okay, I stop doing stuff and it works. I'm here for years now. I have in my mind from last year. Thank you.
Exactly. I would just like to remark what she said, that a good social media presence allows the opportunities to come to you instead of you having to go outside and hunt for opportunities. So it's just being out there. It's a tool to be discovered, to get discovered. So take advantage of it. Of course, each artist will feel more affinity with different social medias. This is a topic, if you want, we can discuss in another talk a little bit deeper. But the options are there: Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. All of them work, and all of them work in very unique ways. So it is not one size fits all. Your art career will dictate which social medias fit better for you and how to use them. So we're not going to dive into that, but basically it is a tool for you to get exposure and to get opportunities, both offline and online. Also gives you a possibility to establish yourself as an artist by yourself without depending on external players such as galleries or curators or dealers. You can do this yourself through social media. So basically, just do it. Basically that. Why should I care so about social media? It's taking your own career in your own hands. While instead of waiting for a magazine to publish your artwork, you're there publishing it yourself. And a lot of artists have developed a very lucrative, established, serious career just from social media. I'd like to present an example of an artist that I met a couple of months ago, but I already knew him from online for at least a couple of years. He is very conveniently called most famous artist. I'm pretty sure most of you guys already heard about him, or you should. He basically was a startup founder that had a personal problem, and his startup just crashed and caught fire. It's like a disaster. Like the week before he sold to Google, his startup went from being worth several million to €3.45. So what did he do? He reinvented himself as an artist. This is a man that cannot draw a fucking stick figure, but he reinvented himself as an artist. He used his strategies of creating interest on social media that he had developed over his years as a startup founder and transferred that into Instagram. He started posting some of the paintings that he did. He started creating artwork that he knew would appeal to masses, and he started working with influencers. He found pretty famous people on Instagram and gave them free art if they posted it on their social media accounts. 175,000 followers later, he doesn't need a gallery, he doesn't need a curator, and he doesn't need an art dealer. He's selling more than $500,000 of art every year just by himself. And he doesn't have to pay the 40% commission to his galleries, so it's all for him. Okay. So that's why you should care for social media. To YouTube or not to YouTube? Of course, YouTube is just an example here, but as artists, you should be investing heavily in video. Video has more engagement than text, than image, than audio. Video is the to-go place in social media nowadays. Do an example. Post a picture of an artwork and post a video of the artwork. Showing some details or hanging that artwork on the wall. Try and find if the picture is going to have more likes or the video is going to have more views. Spoiler alert, it's a video. So video is the most interesting place to invest your time right now. The possibilities of video are infinite. Just give a couple of options. You can do a time lapse of a painting. You can do an interview with your gallerist. You can do a video of you hanging your new art piece in the gallery. You can do a studio tour. You can do whatever. The thing is, the possibilities are infinite. Then you're going to say, oh, but I don't have fancy video equipment. 95% of that video is going to be seen in smartphones. So why not use your smartphone to produce that content? Basically, with a smartphone, a tripod, and some IKEA lights, you can make the kind of video that will have good engagement and good results. So the opportunities are there, and you don't need much more than you already have in your pocket. So press. They are, I have no idea how much, like gazillion online art magazines out there. I know, I run one of them, so there's a lot of them. And they go from blogs that are followed by the family of the owner to multi-thousand followers magazines. And these magazines, there's a lot of them that have the tradition of publishing artists, new discoveries, new artworks, new exhibitions by artists, and not only the art magazines. You can also look into design magazines and lifestyle magazines. They also have the tradition of exhibiting and showcasing artists. So, that's a market that you should be investing in. Do some research and find magazines that match your own style. Do that research, because if you send the wrong magazine, you're going to look like an amateur, and nobody wants that. So do the research and find magazines that have covered subjects similar to yours, aesthetics similar to yours, and artists that are in the same level in their career and have the same aesthetic directions as you. So, important, homework. Before you start this, homework. And then you contact the magazines. I can say from experience, producing steady and regular content for magazines is fucking hard. It takes a lot of work. So most of the magazines are going to be fucking happy to receive some content on their inbox that they don't have to hunt. So there's a very good chance that they're actually happy to get your email. So first step, contact them. More than email, I recommend hunting them on social media. These magazines get too much emails. So if you go through Instagram and through the direct messages on Instagram, which is, by the way, a feature that's criminally underused on Instagram, you have access to some real person. A real person is managing that Instagram. And it has a much more chance of not getting ignored than an email. Once you email or Instagram DM the magazine, if they show interest, it's time to send them your work. Here comes the tricky part. The right way to send this work. Don't send them your PDF portfolio, because taking the images out of that PDF portfolio into JPEGs takes a lot of work. And since they are publishing your work, be nice. Give them the less amount of work possible. Create a Google Drive, create a folder, put your images there, low resolution images. It's an online magazine, so nothing bigger than 1 megabyte per image. And put your bio, again, your bio in a Google Docs, not a PDF. Again, taking information from PDF is a nightmare. So make it as easy as possible so that this person doesn't have to go back and forth with 7 emails just to publish your work. They will be grateful for that. Also, on the email, mention an Instagram account or a direct place where they can see your work without having to open all the files, just so they have an idea. When you're receiving 200 portfolios a week, it's very hard to do the name-image connection. So, it's nothing personal, but you will not know which artist belongs to which art just by names, not at this initial first contact. So also send your Instagram link. And don't be elitist with these magazines. Target smaller magazines as well. These magazines with 400 readers, these are 400 people that you don't know. You might already have 400 followers. You might have 4,000, 40,000, but these are 400 new users. So, also, targeting small magazines is not a waste of time. Of course, everybody wants to be featured by Vice, but there's a big queue for that. So, smaller magazines allow you to reach an audience, smaller audience, of course, but it also allows you to reach that audience faster. And the mystery of selling art online, the tricky part. If I had 1 penny for each time somebody said it's hard to sell art online, I'll have a lot of pennies. It is hard, I'm not denying it, but it's not impossible. At this point, 80% of my revenue is from selling art online. Thing is, you have to have a very clear strategy and be very professional about that. It's not just because you put a couple of pictures on your Facebook account that suddenly collectors are going to be rushing to buy your artwork. No. I wish. The thing is, you have to develop, starting from point 0, have a website. Again, this is like social media. I don't have to convince anybody to have a website. That's basic knowledge. Have a website. Period. Then develop catalog of works. I'm not saying like every single artwork you ever did has to be online for sale. No, 15, 20 art pieces. Some varying prices from smaller pieces that are cheaper to big gallery pieces. Create Google Sheets and like be efficient about it. The name of the artwork, size of the artwork, the medium of the artwork, the price of the artwork into an Excel sheet or Google Sheets for that. That will allow you to have a more organized and sufficient overview of what you have in stock or has been sold. Again, these are all terminologies that you will find more suiting to a retailer than to an artist. But this kind of work will pay off in the future. Run your art career like a fucking business. All the successful artists do. So, do a list of the artworks you have on available. And then do a research of what art selling websites suit your profile. I'm not kidding. There are over 600 websites that sell art online. But again, putting that on a website doesn't mean shit. You have to do a whole strategy around that to make it work. You have to be able to generate the interest in your artwork. They're not buying the artwork. They're not buying the art piece. They're buying the story behind that. So you have to tell that story as well. Take some nice pictures, obviously. Take some pictures of the painting, take some pictures of the painting hanging on the wall, take the pictures of the friend holding the painting, take a fucking picture of the detail of the painting. If a buyer is buying an art piece that he doesn't have access to see directly, you have to generate the feeling that he knows exactly what he's getting. Again, a video of your artwork. Most people just focus on the photo aspect, while video is a very strong tool to sell art as well. Basically, finish your catalog, 15, 20 pieces, now it's time to publish them. Just find 5, maybe 7 websites where you feel comfortable and you like the feeling of it, and just publish your artwork there. I'll recommend Art Finder, Saatchi, and those are the big ones. The thing is, just having your artwork there doesn't mean anything. You have to have the whole strategy of social media. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Facebook actually allows you to open a marketplace on your Facebook page. That's an incredible tool. It's native to Facebook. You know, it has all the amenities and means of use of all Facebook products, and it's a place where you can sell your artwork directly. Your website, transform your website into a marketplace. If you run a website on WordPress, it's super easy. If you run a website on Wix, I don't know, but I imagine it's easy. Shopify is directly, specifically made for online commerce. So transform your website into a marketplace as well. And then do the hard work. Do the hard work of social media strategy and press strategy, and if you're really into influencer marketing strategy, and generate interest in your art. You know? Nobody's going to buy a painting just because it's pretty. They have to really develop a relationship with it. Tell a story about your painting. And that's the difference between just trying to sell a pretty painting. The other thing is stairs, your price range. A lot of artists, even emerging artists, have very expensive artwork because of the time it requires to make their artwork and the materials that their artwork requires. I'm not telling you that your 3x3 canvas should be sold by 500 euros. No, that's an expensive piece, and it should remain an expensive piece. And it should go to a collector that can afford that expensive piece and appreciate that expensive piece. Art has its value. The thing is, if you have that 3x3 canvas, you should have something for the other side of the collector's spectrum. It happens a lot with very young artists that their friends and family are very passionate about their work. You see that your friend is producing something beautiful, and you love your friend. Ergo, you love what your friend is making. But if your friend is only trying to sell to high-end collectors, you feel neglected. You don't have the financial funds of buying that piece. Your friend, as an artist, should make available pieces that younger or less economically powerful audience can afford. That could go in a wide array of products, prints, postcards, tote bags, t-shirts, merchandising. Think about the small collector as well. Of course you're going to say like, oh, selling a €1 postcard is not going to make any difference at the end of the month. Yeah, one postcard won't. What about 500 postcards? If you develop interesting social media strategy, you can reach big audiences that are willing to buy postcards, per se. And there is a lot of examples of artists that have achieved a steady income and be able to maintain their art career just by selling smaller pieces to a large audience. If you match this with a good social media strategy, that is possible. So also invest in the small-time collectors. Another thing to have in consideration is very few collectors will be acquainted with your job, with your artwork, and buy an expensive piece 1 week after. You have to stay interested. You have to create interest. You have to grow a collector. So sell them a small piece, sell them a postcard, sell them a t-shirt, then sell them a sketch, then a small piece, and then you go for the big piece. You cannot just go around offering the big pieces on the first day. It doesn't work. And also, there are tools online that offer you the possibility to print on demand. If you want, I can recommend a couple afterwards, but the thing is, you think, oh, I'm gonna sell t-shirts, pretty cool. But will I have to order 100 t-shirts and stack them in my room until somebody buys them? No. You produce a t-shirt when somebody buys it. So if a client goes to your website and say, hey, I want a t-shirt. You say, yeah, sure. You call the provider, he prints one t-shirt, and he sends it directly to the client. You don't even touch that t-shirt. And these are big companies that have like very high quality standards, so it is worth it. Of course, it is more profitable to print 100 t-shirts and sell them, but it is a bigger risk. So I'll definitely go to print on demand, which also offers products such as printed canvas, which is a very good choice as well, posters, postcards, mugs, magnets. Magnets are very good. Magnets are criminally underrated. I did magnets when I was a younger artist, and 5 years after I went to my friend's home, it was in the fridge still. So people don't get rid of the magnets so easily. So selling art online, is it hard? Yes, but it is easier and more effective if you think outside the box. Okay, now we move to offline. Offline strategies are a little bit, we might be a little bit more comfortable with them because it is what artists have been doing for 200 years, 300, 500 years. It's basically what being an artist was all about before internet. It's still important though. That myth of the artist locked inside of his studio and collectors just coming to him to buy does not exist. That's a myth. You have to be out there. You have to see and be seen. You have to visit galleries. And come on, guys, we're in Berlin. 400 plus galleries here. We could go to one gallery a day, and we will not repeat it for a year and a half because we don't open on Monday. So go there. Go to galleries. Go to openings. Meet artists, meet collectors, meet gallerists, you know, just be nice. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself the second time, because people forget. Go to a third exhibition. Be present, be on the back of their mind the whole time. But don't show them your portfolio, because that's creepy. Don't show your portfolio. They have to ask to see your portfolio. Tell them you're an artist. Yes, do that. But don't create an art of mystery. Mystery has always worked very well. So let them know that you're an artist, but you have to ask if you want to see my portfolio. And that's a better strategy, believe me. Curators and galleries are very curious. So when time comes, they will ask. So be there, be present, be an active player in the art scene, and things will develop naturally. Alternative visibility opportunities. We all want to exhibit at galleries, right? We all want to be in art fairs. We all want to be in biennales. But why not think outside the box? Every artist wants to be in galleries. Why not exhibit in a hair salon, or a fashion shop, or a bar? The thing is, galleries are the traditional place where people go to see art. So the people that are going to art galleries already have the artist mindset. The thing is, everybody likes art. Everybody can appreciate something beautiful, even if they're not passionate about art, about the whole ecosystem of the art world. So when you exhibit in a hair salon, let's use that as an example, you will be reaching people that will find what you do beautiful, but it will never cross their mind to go to an art gallery. They will never think like, huh, it's Friday, I want to go to an art gallery. No, but they're going to get a haircut, maybe they like what they see, and maybe they buy it. They're already in a hair salon, which is a commercially driven business, so they already have their commercial chip set on. So you will be targeting people in an already commercial environment without the prejudice of going to an art gallery. Most art galleries that you go are, let's say, not very open environments. Usually go huge white cube, somebody sitting on a computer, and they don't even look at you when you're in it. You don't even get a hi. It's a very cold environment. And people put their defenses up when they go to art galleries. But that doesn't happen when we go to a restaurant to eat with friends. When you go to a restaurant to eat with friends, you don't have any defenses up. You're there open to have fun with friends, enjoy good food, and have a nice drink. And then you see an artwork. I believe that people in that kind of conditions are much more open to inquire and to discuss about the artwork in question than in a gallery, where everybody's super terribly ashamed or scared, to make a mistake, to say the wrong thing at the wrong time and sound like an idiot. It's very hard to sound like an idiot in a restaurant. It's much more easy to sound like an idiot in an art gallery. So, by investing time into looking for different places to show your art, you can mark the difference. And there's less competition. So, actually, I started a super exhibiting on bars. I still do regular exhibitions at restaurants with good results. So, I would invest heavily on this one. And innovation. We just talked about that with the offline strategies. This is the kind of stuff that artists have been doing for 500 years. We are in a very different era now. The internet has allowed us to try things that were completely unimaginable to a generation of artists 20 years ago. The idea of showing your process, of getting into Instagram and showing, like, hey, I'm doing this. How would somebody do that 20 years ago? Just go down the street with a half-painted picture and show people randomly and get likes? That doesn't happen. The whole role of an artist has been completely changed since the internet. And changed again since social media. So it is time to try something new. Create new collectors. Everybody wants to self-defense collectors. It's nice, it's prestigious, through oil magnets and Russian oligarchs. That really sounds nice. But there is a whole, like everybody can be a collector. You can develop new groups of people and transform them into collectors. But you have to teach them how to collect art. You have to develop their interest in your artwork, and then you transform them into collectors. Everybody says, oh, Berlin is so poor, there's no money to buy arts. Maybe you're looking in the wrong place. Have you ever seen a listing of startups and how much money gets invested into startups? These startups have founders. Has anybody thought about targeting startup founders and offering them a plan where you teach them to collect arts and then you sell them? It's a possibility. Real estate. The relationship of real estate and art is not well developed. Lawyers, all those people are traditionally known as well-paid professionals. So why not target that a little bit more? With all the other strategies named here, you could do that. You could look into a different group, a different demographic, and really develop that group as a collector. I once was working for an art startup, and we had this individual that was interested. And I told my boss at the time, I said, oh, no, but that's not even a collector. He only buys 500 euro pieces. It's like, but what if he buys 10 of it, or 20 or 30? These younger collectors, these new collectors have to be groomed. You have to develop them. Very few collectors are going to buy their first piece, 50,000 euro piece. They're going to start small. And like every relationship in this life, they grow if you nurture them. So develop new collectors by selling them maybe the lower art pieces that we talked before, And then these collectors will grow as your career grows. As you become more important as an artist, your relationship with these collectors will grow, and their investment in your art will grow as well. Your patrons. This is not an original thought. This was stolen by a good friend, artist, Azucar. She does the postcard and printing, like, incredibly. She had, through all her efforts on social media, artists, art enthusiasts that felt very passionate about her work. If you see her work, you will understand why. This patron basically offered her 20 euros a month so she could buy art supplies. It's like, oh, that's not much, there's a couple of pens here and there. Yeah, but someone that's giving you money just so you can do what you love, that's fucking awesome. What happens when you have 10 of them, 20, 100? There's a tool that's actually conveniently called Patreon, and that allows you to create memberships for your service. So you as an artist, you can create memberships. So every month, they send you €1, or €5, or €10 to be a member of their community. And then you have to add value. Actually, you have to add value first. So you can do studio visits, you can do private showings of your exhibitions. You can give them VIP treatment in order for them to help you develop your art career from the start, not from the end by buying a piece, but from day one, from the day before the art piece is done. I only heard about this once, but it was like an enlightenment opportunity. So I think with the right strategy, this could be very big for artists over the next couple of years. And I think basically what's more important here is for the last 500 years, artists have been needed to take opportunities that are given to them by a curator, by galleries, by an art dealer. Now, with all the technologies available to us, we can do our own opportunities. We can create our own exhibitions. We can create our own online magazines. We can create our own collectors. With the right targeting, we don't need anybody giving us opportunity. We can create our own. I'm not saying that to all galleries. I think artists still have very good relationships with galleries, and it's something that can be developed and nurtured and can grow. But I think that just relying on galleries is dumb. You know, you have to do your homework. You have to put in the hours as well. You have to work as well if you want your career to succeed. There are very few artists that can just rely on their gallery and just go paint and go to Tahiti. That doesn't happen. It's hard work. So if you maintain social media strategies, offline strategies, and innovation, you can create a parallel career to your gallery dealership career. I actually sell more art on my own than through my gallery. I'm not going to leave my gallery because it's amazing. I love the gallery. But most of my sales I make them myself. If I'm going to wait to somebody else sell my art, it's like, I'm not going to wait around, so I'm going to do my own stuff. So basically that's what I want to share with you guys. It's like, there's no excuse to not be taking full control of your art career. So basically that. And to finish, I'm opening a gallery, curating a group exhibition next week, and I have 3 spots for art. It's like only 1 piece per artist. So if you guys want to send me your portfolio, you can talk now after the talk is over. I'd like to see what you guys are doing, and I will select 3 of these artists to show an exhibition next week during the gallery week. So, gift crowns. Gift crowns, project space in Neukölln. So now I'd like to open to some questions for me or for Nene as well. Go. Yeah? Yeah, it's in another presentation here. I'll type it here. That's the thing, send it by Instagram. I don't want it by mail. Yeah, you have to call them. Okay, while we do that, next question. Ladies first.
I'm free to develop curiosity and I'm wait until another time of my career. I remember I was on an event once and one leader get to know what I was in the production. And actually I was there also not career. So then I got to do something like that. That I was the same. That I might be good at that I might be good at every time you look up, right? So I have my time on and describe that. Do you have any examples of really tell me how to work?
Again, not an original idea. This is by Nina Ansari, tremendous artist. Last week I was with her in a gallery opening, and a mutual friend of mine asked her, "Oh, you're an artist. Can I see what you do?" I thought at that point, oh, she's going to pop up her cell phone and show us some images on her cell phone. Thing is, I love the internet and I love digital media, but it's a little bit ephemeral. What she did, she popped out of her pocket a pocket-sized portfolio, printed images in a little book that she gave to my friend. She wrote, and she was able to really see the artwork, like small reproductions of the artwork, but still, it's an experience. You can touch it. Of course, the idea of waiting for a curator to ask you your portfolio, that's the idea. But if you feel that there is a place to push it a little bit, be open for it. Also, you can trick them into meeting you again. You know, it's like, you run a gallery, I'd love to see it. When are you there? When can I stop by to see for an exhibition? You know? Don't sound like you're asking, sound like you're interested. You know?
The thing is that I'm not getting crazy, so I'm not another work of art computer every day. And I expect them to publish. So what I do is to publish everything on Sunday, so the posts are coming. I wrote the day from my friend,
basically looking for people who are training their target. Yeah, that's what works for me. The only thing that gets you
The problem with Plus is you cannot just move up. You have to constantly calculate a real strategy and a real person managing it.
sure, but hashtag really works like
If you have any mail or something that I can just
To be completely honest, very few galleries can offer an artist exclusivity. It's like, and very few artists are in a position where the gallery can actually do something about exclusivity. For example, with Irene, I have a very special arrangement of exclusivity. Irene does art series, and I have one of that series. She only sells with my gallery, nobody else. I invite you to do the same. Like one specific series of work or one medium. You paint and you photograph, maybe part of like one series of your paintings can be sold exclusively through the gallery, or maybe some paintings individually. The thing is, some galleries also are not in a position to offer exclusivity, especially when the artist has a very strong personal brand, or when the artist is with other galleries. The most important thing is to have the same price range. It would suck if somebody goes to see a gallery and there's 1,000 euro painting, and they go to the website and it's 600 because you don't have the 40% cut of the gallery. That doesn't work. The gallery will be pissed off. You will sound as the most professional artist. So if you want to do both, which I do recommend, same price range. Of course, of course. Look into virtual assistants. You can hire people online for very acceptable rates that they would have heavy work. I would recommend to take the planning side in your own hands. But maybe the posting, the creation of the social media images, you can delegate. Well, yeah, you can do a research into communication agencies that specialize in arts and artists and art fairs. When you're in a position to hire like an art fair that has a PR agency that specializes in arts, some big bucks are going to work. I would recommend you to develop your own strategy, and if you don't want to take care of it on a daily basis, delegate that to a virtual assistant or an intern or other artists on the group that's more socially savvy. Yes. No, you must have a personal website because like opening a Facebook page doesn't cost any more trouble or money. But the idea that you should have taken the time to do your own personal website implies that you are more serious about your creator than 80% of the people out there. And that's something that I don't personally do. I don't do dance performance or I'm not a specialist in it, but it's very traditional. Like a lot of galleries want an extra activity for their opening night as a cherry to Gatsby. So yeah, you can totally contact art galleries and all of the comments. Are you back?
Who's buying art in the gallery? And how do
let's see. The last big batch of art was sold at the Mexican restaurant in Berlin, where I did an exhibition, and and the owner and the staff of the restaurant were so impressed that they bought Also, I sell art through a website called Artster, which is a website marketplace for art specializing in galleries. So you're not required to be there as a personal artist, but you can apply for a gallery. And the other thing is just offline connections and online connections. It's just being present and people see and develop and have a story behind the painting that is convincing, and they shift into purchasing that work.
Okay, what would you say that inspire these people? Like you mentioned the entrepreneurs, people like who are these individuals?
It can go from any spectrum of the economical and social field to the other. You know, one of the collectors was the owner of the restaurant. Other was a waiter. Of course, the waiter bought a smaller piece, and he decided I would pay it in 3 months. And the collector, the owner bought a bigger piece and paid it at once. But sale is a sale, you know. So don't ever be prejudiced of small collectors because they love art too. So if you have like stairs, prices, you can target smaller, bigger collectors at the same time.
Do you think when you go to the market or whatever living prices, there is something people that turns out because people are actually just like yourself?
Nobody buys it. That's Hollywood. If you're serious about buying, call the galleries because you already know the galleries. You go during the week when there's nobody. You still get free champagne. Probably better champagne.
But then who's they open for?
For us, for public, for press, for common folk.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. Art has two factors: the cool factor and the money factor. If you just have the money, you're boring. You're not cool. If you're just cool, you're poor. You have to have the opening for what's called our art crowd, because this is the people that will validate that exhibition as worth it, as culturally interesting, and that will drive the prices up and the interest in the collectors. So they don't buy art; they play a key role in the art world.
I have Facebook, Instagram, and
Yeah.
so for me, it's not great. It's not about awesome. But all I want is to do promote my friends, follow art. The gallery, so they don't be just ignoring the limitations for working. I don't want to go in using this stuff.
Yeah. Maybe take money out of the equation. Say that 100% of what you need for your art doesn't really get to you. Goes to charity organization, goes to some crowdfunding, like goes elsewhere. You state that this commercial art, but it's not from you. It's like, I don't want this money. This money is going to go through me, or not going to touch me. Just like go through some NGO. And that, I think that even it will give you the possibility to exhibit, but it will also give you a marketing point to go in that direction. Sure. First of all, drop it. The thing is, it is hard. It's not hard to find artists. If you go, for example, Art Connect for this, right, the website, you look all, you will get, it will block your inbox on emails all. Separating what's cool, what's not good, what's shit, and what's serious art, that's the tricky part. So, I would recommend that the best way to start is with one artist and have him introduce you to the colleagues that he thinks are professional enough for your project. Those three colleagues, another three, and so on. You know, I think one of the best ways to actually get to know artists that are professional, serious, and good is through a relation. You know, also just go on Instagram and have fun, you know. So, honestly, like 99% of the artists that you say, hey, you want to do it? I'm gonna say yes. The 1% is like, not here. They're already not finding a new term. That's the process is not professional about their art, but professional about their career. You know, delivering the material on time in the right way. That's the trick. There.
I'm also an art history, and I found that I've been having more luck with the pop-up shows rather than art galleries. So I guess thinking on both sides, I would would you suggest curators starting lessons more online platforms or less of a gallery as I look for artists at the
I think the main problem with is being able to pay your rent every month with a market as complicated as your work is a challenge. So I really think that when you pop up, it's what I'm doing from now on. Having a gallery is worth it when you have your own network of collectors that will like you on a monthly basis. Before that, go pop up. So I would recommend to keep on doing pop-up. And the thing is, what happens if you don't have pop-up in 3 months? 1 month, 3 months, and then it's lost. You have to have an online presence and island where your clients and audience can go while you have pop-up. So, and that gives you the possibility of generating content and interest while you have pop-ups. Blog posts, videos, all that material that you can use. If you will pop up and no, I'm commission based. I deal with a lot of artists from South America, so I have their artwork here. But it's like I'll post it online. There's some conditions, like they can go around selling it for half the price, and post it online 20% less. They have to do like it's important. But you don't buy artwork unless you're in the secondary market. It's like you don't spend money on your own supply. So I would recommend contact some artists, have them sign a very straightforward basic contract with you, and you don't own that art, you just offer it. You really don't know it. So that's the right way to go.
I work in position, and I was all ready to make earning in the next one. I think neither translation to my small project is kind of steps. It needs to be the whole city, but needs to have a start. Everything what you have been told today, getting exactly what I already started to do. But most of the time you have been talking about galleries, but not many city galleries in the cinema, and that's a little bit different language about how you use social media and how to business and to portfolio not to
Of course. Just change the world art gallery by moving festival. You know, it's a mindset. You know, you can be an architect and apply these kind of things. You know, just change art gallery for architecture study. You It's just the idea that even before you get to contract place on your project, you can build its own web presence. So even before it's not all web open, it's just like 60% ready, you can still contact people of general interest. So, and you can contact general people and audience, and you can also bring this to producers and investors. So all this kind of online platform will also open a lot of doors into getting investments. So, if you want to in the future and talk to a little bit more in deepness about the specific movies, we can do that. It's not my area of expertise, but we can talk about applying all of this to movies.
But rather than more projects, so actually like the most hours and topics and stuff was not really so I'm going to like how do you see some people that I don't know this connection what would you say or is that
Not in our galleries.
obviously
Startup meetups. Nobody thinks it's an artist who will start a meetup. Maybe there. Online, but Salon is a big ass event. Anyway, look at companies that already have public presence. PR, press, marketing, Tinder. That's underrated. That's underrated. That's a smart show. That's the thing. There's no road for that. You just have to find it where you have like another door just go. If it's not the door that you thought, you know, captain there, but he presents you to somebody in the marketing sector, and that works out for you. So it's just a matter of finding your way in. But yeah, also you can look into online listings, and there are a lot of options for investing online, like open calls for investments. And a lot of people don't know that, and when they know that, just throws money at artists. I'm still working on that talk, but it's coming soon. Follow me on Instagram. But it's something I'm developing with a partner of investments in the art. I cannot talk about it too much because I don't know yet, but it's a progression we're going on. Thank you. I don't use the account or anything, but it's sorry. I usually use my artist account more, but like their cats, these are their accounts with like millions of followers, and maybe they don't even have the best cat videos. You know that? It's very important. Instagram followers is just a vanity metric. It feels nice to have 45,000 followers, but it's just vanity. You know, it isn't the work that you can be more successful without the people you are.
This is how I shape the ladies. People because we're rehash and it's connection style. I think that have the tricks like there's a main problem but they're not artists, always, even that is because he has that from really and then all games not working. I know there is a
Because I'm working on paying for saying that we were using Sony. That's to use no, I'm not gonna.
You have to look into
But
engagement
they
as well.
don't, they
Organic growth is always better. Hey guys, I'm gonna take up 3 or 4 more questions and then we'll do the front. But we're still gonna be here for like half an hour so we'll chat. And feel free to contact me on the course. So that's done. That's like very personal. That varies from artist to artist. Me as a personal artist, I like to sell an artist cheap and sell a lot of stuff. Other artists like them works exclusive, sell a few arts, very expensive. And it's not even a matter of materials. The same artists use the same materials I do. It's just a matter of mindset. But that's something that as an art dealer I've learned never to touch an artist's price. I can suggest saying like it's a little expensive because of your point of view, but that's the artist's decision at the end. I can say like, hey, I'm not gonna do this, so I just prices are
you addressed the important point about innovation. And as you know, I also work concerning musicians most of the time. And reading this innovation aspect, you need to competitive advantage. Especially here, where the individual artists everywhere seeking for money, seeking for opportunities. There are obviously certain kinds of strategy that are specifically applied for the music sector to maintain competitive advantage. Because I believe in artists, our similar needs that you can give to the seasonality, right? That's the kind of selling, but not selling. People open out, do all what different practice and itself organic growth line.
in moments of less offline exposure, less exhibitions, invest on exposure. Just be active and generate your own opportunities. If you don't have an exhibition for months, create that online exhibitions and selected these, create these pieces, and I'm going to show them all on this website. You know, just create interest and keep yourself relevant. So when other people are not doing exhibitions or showing your art, buying your art, push harder on your side to show your art and sell your art. If you give me money, I will. It happens like 2 or 3 times. It's not something I'm actively searching, but it happens. Yeah, the important thing about posting an advert is always that you very clearly that that's an advert, or else it's like shady. But I think nowadays it's not badly seen if an artist is like, hey, there's these fans, buy them. I'm getting paid to sell this. It's okay. We all have to pay those. Last question? Yes.
I have some feedback with some of the things that just split through and one person where might take some stuff that I'm going to know. You know, you said like a hungry artist has a good artist as well as anyone. Well, obviously, the music is Yeah, still it's not good because it's broke. Yeah. So what I'm going with all this is I think it's all nice what you said. One point that was like practice sounded to me. First has to learn to differentiate his art from the job, the data, from the product. You know, but you have to treat your art as a product and come up with products that you can how to base the job, what is the visual application. But we're not in this game for this because it says like making something appealing to the masses. Well, that also is appealing to the masses. I had a shop with painted t-shirts for 6 years. My best sold t-shirts, it's a fucking glow in the dark Joker. I never watched the movie. This is how much I think care about this, you know? And but every time that I was making most of the money in the lipstick job, I was feeling unhappy because I started. My point is that long story short, that it's really easy to get lost or to find some kind of focus because of the English market. Because guys, if you don't want to order this pay your bills, business solution is here around the corner, Mall Park, every Sunday, cat sales, obviously Joker as well. You know, but this is like small fish. He's talking about the other stuff. It's just like it's an article of balance, you know? But what people, I'm sorry?
I'm not gonna say what the.
Yeah, that's great. I'm talking about this. I just believe it's like very touchy subject, very it's like this down. It's kind of like what this is the masses, you know, but it's like you also said that you're not being fooled, you're just being forward. I don't think that also is forward or fool or whatever, like this comparison is good. In this first case, your growth I would like to because at least my art, whatever I do, it's better.
Well, of course, a lot of artists do art for other reasons, commercial reasons, and that's okay. I'm specifically focusing on the commercial side of things and how to just maintain an open flow as an artist. Of course, a lot of artists have a very commercial side to their artwork, and then they have a little more.
How much art and from the online magazine because forward is learning a lesson. Everybody's a learning base, you know. And some people move here and be places. And sometimes you go to a special market or a special entity and you realize in this whole life, care about the gallery. They're taking 200 years, 2 days, and nobody's coming, and you're like losing 20. Hey, it's networking. So let's take the word as well. Just organize chaos for of your money from your art and from your online magazine.
60% comes from my own art, 20% comes from, I'll say like 20%, 25 comes from design, and 15 comes from other artists.